Zoals gezegd ben ik hoofdredacteur van stripblad Jump. Las jij vroeger ook strips?
Yeah. Certainly, we had a local library where you could. They had a big pile of comics, and you could go in and borrow them for a week. So there were stacks of them. Loved them. Particularly, I always loved Donald Duck. I didn't like Mickey Mouse so much. I thought Mickey Mouse was a bit goody-good. But Donald Duck I really liked because he's bad-tempered. He quacks at people. So all the Disney comics I loved reading. And then there used to be these terrible, really war comics, because this was in the 50s. So it wasn't long after World War II. And my brother and I used to lap them up. And of course at school the teachers say, don't read war comics, they're awful. But, I'm tossing up the idea that we might do a graphic novel of the Rangers, of the Kreisjäger, maybe. No, it's just something I'm thinking of. I'd have to find an artist that I trusted. But I thought, in a way I'd like to do it, and in a way I like the fact that people have to visualise the characters for themselves. I think when everything's done for you, it's not as good. But of course there'll be a movie or a TV series of the book, so that will change. As people, there will be somebody who's defined as being Will. But I still like the fact that people have to use their own imagination to picture him. And often, I think, too, young boys picture themselves as Will.
Naast de boekenserie zijn ook Kreisjäger spin-offs zoals games, muziek, hopelijk ooit nog eens een film. Wat is je rol bij de productie van de spin-offs?
There's no game at the moment. I'd love there to be a Lego tie-up. I think that'd be fabulous. The reason is a lot of that merchandising has been tied up with the film rights. The film producers hold the rights to that sort of merchandising. And of course the film was probably due to start shooting about now. But the whole lockdown, the whole COVID-19 has stopped that. But I was speaking to the producers about a week ago on a Zoom conference. They're going to shoot it in Australia. It's an American company, but they're going to shoot in Australia. And what we're now thinking is they're going to do it as a streamed series rather than a single movie, which I'm very pleased about. I like that idea. And they'll take it over 2 books, the first series, which is good because when they plotted the film, apparently they had to leave a lot of the minor characters out. But they can put them back in if they've got a series because it's more to fill. So they're working on that now, and we're hoping once the whole lockdown has stopped and people can travel, they'll start shooting in Melbourne in Australia, and we'll do it as a stream series.
And do you write the script for that yourself?
No, I don't like writing scripts. I've done a lot of it. I worked in television. I'm happy to leave it to someone else because you've got to change. It's things you can't just adapt. Well, you do adapt, but you can't just translate a book into a film script exactly. The things have to change, and I don't want to change things. So I'm happy for somebody else to do it, as long as they stay to the spirit of the book, which I know they will. The producers are very much on side with that. So I've got a reasonable amount of input that they keep me posted on what's happening. And the fact that it's going to be shot here in Australia means I'll be able to go down and get involved in the shooting, whenever I want to.
Will you have a small role in the background?
Oh, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? I'll have to hit them up for that.
Zoals voorbijganger.
Yes, I'd like to have a small but pivotal role. I mean, I've got the cloak, you know.
Nou, kan je ook nog eens als een leerling meedoen.
I'm a little bit old to be an apprentice, so I might have to be a retired ranger, I think, you know, with a cowl pulled up over my face.
Wat mogen we eigenlijk nog verwachten verder? Nog iets anders?
I've got plans for, I don't know if Tim has read any of the Brother Band books, the Brother Band. Planning another one of those, and I'm halfway through the second book in a two-book set of the Royal Ranger. So I'll be finishing that in a couple of months, and or probably a couple of weeks actually, and then I'll have a rest, and then I'll start planning another brother band. I've got an idea for that, and then I'll have to start thinking up another idea for more Rangers. I just want to keep doing them, you know.
Will you be in Holland next year if
Oh yes. If everything's clear to travel, definitely. I was going to come this year, but of course it was cancelled. But I love coming to Holland. You know, it's such a welcoming place, and it's so strange for me that it's a lot of people there love the books, and I would not have. Yeah, in my dreams, I would not have thought Holland or the Netherlands would be the place where, you know, it's such an important market for me. And that's, I don't know why that. I would have thought England, but the Netherlands is my, after America, Australia, the Netherlands, and then Poland. Well, from what I've seen, the Netherlands, people are really interested in medieval things. It's like what's the park where they have the Grijsjagerdag? What's it called?
Archeon?
The big, okay. I mean, that's amazing. And you get people camping there in the Viking village. And everybody's so prepared to take part in it. And they're fascinated by the whole medieval castles and fighting, I suppose, because it's part of your culture, it's part of your history, you know. And so they've just taken to the books, which I love. I mean, I love going to Grijsjagerdag, just to see those literally thousands of kids walking around in cloaks. And, you know, it's just such fun for me, you know. I've always had a great time there. And I love doing school visits and bookstore visits in the Netherlands as well. It's just such an enjoyable place, and that's been my main. That and America have been my main touring places. And touring in America is really hard work because you're flying from one city to the next. Whereas in the Netherlands, I stay in Amsterdam. They drive me out to different towns, and I'm back in Amsterdam at night. It's very easy and very pleasant. One of my favourite places. And everybody speaks English, unlike America.
Tot slot, een gouden tip voor iedereen die schrijver en of tekenaar wil worden.
Not so much an artist, but writers definitely. Don't get an idea for a story and think, that's great, I'll start writing it. Think about it and plan it. Work out, before I start writing, I work out how it's going to end. Once I've got an idea for where it starts, the next thing I think is, how does it end? When you know where it starts and where it ends, it's a lot easier to plan how to get from one to the other because you know where you're going. You know what you have to achieve. If you don't plan it, you'll get all keen and you'll write and you'll go maybe 20 pages and then you'll run out. Think, oh, and then you stop. Oh, I'll do this tomorrow. And you never do. So plan it completely before you write it. Just a minute, I'll show you. See, there's quite a few pages there. Well, you can't see that, I can't separate them. That's the plan, the chapter by chapter plan for the book I'm writing now. And I do that before I start writing. And then as I'm going, I'll add in little side notes, but plan it all before you write it. And you'll do it much tighter. Well, then you'll finish. And that works for anything you're writing. If you're doing an answer to a question in school, if you're doing an essay, don't just leap in and start writing. Sit down, take 5 minutes, note down the main points you want to make, and then you won't leave stuff out. But plan it, plan it, plan it. Always know before you start writing how you're going to finish. Best tip I can give you.
Heel erg bedankt voor dit leuke gesprek. En hopelijk wordt dit nog eens een keertje vervolgd. Dus bye bye. Zwaai, zwaai.
My pleasure. Thanks very much for inviting me to do this. It's great to have an opportunity to speak to my readers in the Netherlands. I always love it when I can talk to them. And nice job, Tim, interviewing. Good questions. And tot ziens.